What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to Thursday evening's Anfield Agenda news roundup, where the Jeremy Frimpong deal is inching ever closer. I'm going to take you through all the stories in chronological order of how they've progressed today. We're going to be speaking about Frimpong, Wirtz, Huijsen and Hato. Lots to come over the next few minutes, but once you watch the video, feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Drop a like if you enjoy it, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm going to get into it because there's a lot to go through. We're going to start off with a post around Florian Plettenberg and Jeremy Frimpong. So Florian writes that Frimpong and Liverpool are on the verge of reaching a verbal agreement. Talks are progressing well, with additional details still being clarified. Frimpong is ready for the move, and Arne Slot is very keen to sign him. So as we knew, this one is edging closer. Now, do stick with me through to the end of this video, because we're going to give you a really interesting insight into what Bayern Munich have done that may cost them Florian Wirtz. So stick with me. We're going to keep going, and this time it is Fabrizio Romano speaking about Liverpool and Chelsea's interest in Hato. He said that Liverpool and Chelsea appreciate Joel Hato and both are monitoring him. However, what they decide to do will depend on conversations and negotiations with Ajax, but he does say this will not be an easy deal. Look, I'm going to be honest and say I don't know who the preference is. If it is Hato, if it is Kirkes, if it is both, I would prefer Kirkes. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Now let's move on to start the conversation about Florian Wirtz, because this is a bit of a mad one, and it feels to me like it could become a bit of a saga. So this is what Paul Gorst of the Echo had to write. Liverpool are ready to battle Manchester City and favourites Bayern Munich for the signing of Bayer Leverkusen and Germany midfielder Florian Wirtz. Good, we like these fighting words. Keep it coming. This one, Melissa Reddy said, Florian Wirtz, if Liverpool are encouraged to act on interest, would be looking to seize an opportunity that wasn't expected, given he was due to remain in Germany. So it does look like Liverpool and everybody else believed he was destined to go to Bayern Munich or stay with Leverkusen. But the details I'm going to give you at the end of this video will tell you why maybe Manchester City and Liverpool are feeling a little bit more optimistic on it. Now, do I think off the cuff we're going to see Wirtz at Liverpool? Well, look, I'm preconditioned to believe that FSG won't spend that much money. But if it does happen, like I've always said, more than happy to come on here and put my hands up, because I want Liverpool to be successful. You want Liverpool to be successful, and Wirtz would certainly help in that endeavour. Right, let's move on now to Dean Huijsen, because I think we can really start to close off this chapter. David Ornstein has said Real Madrid activate the £50 million release clause in Dean Huijsen's contract, working to finalise the signing of the Bournemouth centre-back. Talks over personal terms advanced, and his reps are in Madrid to close the transfer. So like we said yesterday, we were the favourites of the English clubs, but when Madrid stepped in and declared their interest, it did always look like he was only going in one direction, and that was to the Santiago Bernabeu. Sticking with David Ornstein, he said Liverpool advancing in talks to sign Jeremy Frimpong from Bayer Leverkusen, increasing confidence from the Dutch internationals camp that a deal will be struck. Bayer Leverkusen right back keen on the move, so personal terms no issue, and the €35 million clause appeals to Liverpool, and of course the fact that we can pay that in, I think, 4 installments if my memory's right. Let's talk a little bit now about Rodrigo Goes of Real Madrid. Ben Jacobs has written simply to say that Liverpool are aware of Rodrigo being a market opportunity. Now that might seem like a something and nothing sentence, but opportunity is a word that Liverpool have been, well, putting out there into the media a lot. If something happens, we will react and move to it. We've heard these conversations before. Maybe if Wirtz doesn't work out, maybe they do look at Rodrigo as that star-powered signing. I really don't know at this point. It is all still developing. But the Wirtz stuff, the interest is really sincere. Sticking with Wirtz, this is from Bild in Germany. They say that Liverpool are serious about snatching Florian Wirtz away from Bayern. Even though Bayern and Wirtz are said to have reached an agreement in principle, a tough transfer negotiation with Leverkusen, who want €150 million, awaits for Wirtz. And as I mentioned, I do have a really interesting bit at the end of this video from the Bayern side and the Bayern insiders to give us a bit of an understanding of what Bayern Munich have done here that has allowed Liverpool and Manchester City to get into this race. Also from Sky Sports Germany, Leverkusen officials are interested in transferring Wirtz to the Premier League if he wishes to move. They could afford a transfer fee of up to €150 million. Second, Bayern would not strengthen a direct competitor. A similar situation occurred with Kai Havertz. So again, like I've said before, it isn't in Leverkusen's interest to strengthen Bayern Munich. It is far better to them to move him outside the Premier League, or to the Premier League, where they probably get more money from, and certainly wouldn't be strengthening a rival. This piece here again from Sky Sports Germany. Everything remains open for Florian Wirtz, with the player and his family weighing up the decision. Liverpool are a concrete option. Sky Sports Germany again report Florian Wirtz only wants to go to Munich and has already signed preliminary contracts, and that those statements, are far-fetched. So reports say Wirtz wants to go to Munich, but they are far-fetched according to Sky Germany. As long as Wirtz himself or his employer doesn't make public what the player wants, everything remains open. The Guardian now, I think it's Andy Hunter, said Liverpool are set to trigger Frimpong's release clause. Discussions are continuing with the player's representatives, and if a deal can be concluded, Frimpong will become the first signing for Liverpool this summer, and this could progress quickly, so keep an eye on it. Now, for what it's worth, I'm supposed to be taking Friday and Saturday off live content, but if this story develops quicker, well, I'll jump on to fill you in on it. Right, again, Ian Doyle this time of the Echo saying Liverpool are in talks with Jeremy Frimpong to make him their first summer signing of the transfer window. Negotiations are ongoing with the players' representatives to agree a deal. Liverpool ready to trigger the release clause. Now, I see a certain journalist is already starting to backtrack on this one to say that, well, I did say that it was a possibility. Well, no, you said that you were confident in your source, and your source said that Liverpool aren't signing Frimpong. Just take the L and move on. It's okay. We all make mistakes. I do them all the time. Just own it and move on. That would be my advice to Mr. Journalist Man. Right, let's keep going. Paul Joyce said there is an interest in his Leverkusen teammate Florian Wirtz, whom Liverpool have tracked for a number of years, and should they show an inclination to move to the Premier League this summer, then the champions will make a strong pitch. So obviously, we're bringing in Frimpong. We can hope we get Frimpong in Florian Wirtz's ear as well to tell him why he should move to Anfield. So keep doing that bit of work there, my man. Keep getting it done over the last couple of weeks. Breaking, said Paul Joyce, Liverpool are expected to approach Leverkusen to formally trigger the £30 million or €35 million release clause that will make Jeremy Frimpong the first signing of the club's summer recruitment drive. And also from Paul Joyce, Liverpool are expected to approach Leverkusen and formally trigger it, as we mentioned a moment ago, making him the first signing. Romano has said Jeremy Frimpong and Liverpool is just a matter of short time. So, ladies and gentlemen, we can assume that we are signing Frimpong at this point. We haven't got the here we go yet, but we are very, very, very close. We could even be talking about this in tonight's late night agenda at 8:45, but don't go anywhere. We still have that interesting bit on Wirtz that I promised you. There is the prospect of it being a very busy summer for Liverpool, writes Paul Joyce, depending on who looks to leave in search of more game time. Now, on this one, I would push back a little bit on players who are looking to leave in search of more game time and hope that that's just language being used. For me, it should be Liverpool who are looking to move on players that Arne Slot doesn't want, but maybe this is just, I don't know, a better way of publicly putting it out there to keep all parties happy. Now, for the bit I promised you. So, there was a Bayern space speaking about the likelihood of Wirtz not going to Bayern Munich, because it had been thought that it was a done deal. But I've given you a quick recap here of what went on and what is apparently happening. So, Bayern let false media reports about a deal with Florian Wirtz circulate without denying the reports. They went on to say that it was a strategic move to pressure Leverkusen into lowering the price, because remember, Premier League clubs willing to spend €150 million or about £125 million, whereas Bayern wanted them for about 80 million. The tactic backfired, said this space, and angered Wirtz's father, Hans, who felt blindsided and disrespected by Bayern Munich. The Wirtz family was upset by Bayern's arrogant and entitled approach. They travelled to England to explore more options, with Manchester City now in a strong position with Liverpool. Florian Wirtz is open to a Premier League move. He's more open to a Premier League move than before. So it seems like Bayern were acting arrogant, entitled. They believed it was a formality. They didn't deny reports that deals had been reached, making it look like that it was just a matter of time, and that has angered both Leverkusen and the Wirtz family, allowing Manchester City and Liverpool to kick the door open and make it a possibility that we see him in the Premier League. Now, of course, I want him to end up in a Liverpool shirt and not a City shirt, and this could be a battle to decide where that Premier League title goes for the next few years, because make no mistake, this guy's the real deal. If City get him, I'm worried for the next few seasons. If we get him, well, it's party time. So let's try and figure this out together. 8:45 tonight, late night agenda. Hope to see you then. Drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button. And again, thank you for your support. We'll see you tonight. Much love. Bye-bye.